Good morning, one and all. This is Prabhakar Tirumani, working as a degree lecturer in Department of Zoology, TTW Sangarity, and today we have to talking about immune system, overview of the immune system. In the part of that, uh, we have to discuss about the different factors and activities of the immune system. And generally, this is a branch of the science. Immune system is one of the science immunology. The study of the immune system is known as immunology. The immunology is a branch of the science which is um, studied about the defensing system of the organism. What is that? Defensing system of the organisms. Generally, the for country, the defense system, co-op system is there. So same function is um, taking the responsibility in the human body. The organism is known as immune system. So see here, what is the immune system? So life is a threat from the following things in nature. What things are there? We have the so many things: viruses, carcinogens, pollutions, germs, and fungus, bacteria, parasites, and insects. All these things are the act as a invaders or causating agents of infectious diseases. Causating agents of infectious diseases. So these things continually uh, attack on the organisms, then leads to damage so many parts like organ systems and biological systems, and also tissues, cells, whatever. uh, they are damaging the metabolic activity. Ultimately it leads to cause the diseases. See here, what is the immune system? The immune system is a biological structure and process within an organism that protects against disease by identifying and killing pathogens and tumor cells. Yes, this is the basic concept of the function of immune system. So this biological structure, why are not talking about the it is a not organ. Immune system is not an organ. Immune system is made up with the structures, biological structures. What we call biological structures, those are tissues, organs, and cells and cell products. The combination of these things we form the immune system. That's why we are calling the biological structures, which protects against the diseases, which are protects against the diseases by identifying and killing pathogens. Identifying and killing. I mentioned two words. First one is the identifying, and second one is the killing. So first one, what is the identifying? Identifying means identify the causating agent, identify the invader, identifying the foreign body which is comes inside of the body. So entering in the body, which is self or non-self. That particular foreign body, which is self or non-self, or which is called the identifying, then killing. Not only killing, it may be neutralize or destroy or kill the pathogen. And also tumor cells. Tumor cells are the cell cells, but which is converted to the tumor cells. So those cells also uh, protects by the destroying. So it is detects a wide variety of the agents. I already told you, wide variety of the agents mean these particular items: viruses, carcinogens, pollutions, germs, fungus, bacteria, parasites, their products. These things are also these products. Those are act as the agents. So that is protected by the immune system by identifying and killing. So Then ultimately the immune system is maintained or uh, manage the healthy condition in order to functional properly. So which is caused to or leads to manage the proper function of the cells and the tissues in the body. So this is the what is the immunity is there. So the immunity mean exempt. Exempt mean exception. So referring to protection against foreign agents. Protection against foreign bodies. So that is the meaning of the immunis. Immunis is the Latin word. The Latin word means exempt. Exempt from the foreign bodies or causating agents which leads to the which is cause the infectious diseases. So what is the definition? Is this definition given to us? The integrated body systems of organs, tissues, cells, and cell products that differentiates self from non-self and neutralizes potentially pathogenic organisms. Again, we are talking about that one only, which is integrated body system, which is combination of the organs, tissues, and cells and cell products, which come collectively working on differentiation of the non-self and self identification, which is called the identification, and then neutralize the potentially pathogenic organisms. Neutralizes, killing, destroying the pathogenic organisms. That is the definition given to us. Then next, the history. When you're going to the history of immunology, immunology is developing from a from the earlier day to now, which is a we observing the a vast evolution from the origin of the species. Then today we are found the higher phylums from to the single cellular organisms. We found the evolutionary change in the immunological development because of they are facing different variety of the organs, parasites, and then ultimately they leads to development their immune system in the different organisms. So human beings are gathering or gaining more complex of the immune system, advanced immune system, because of human beings are habitually and habitually food habitually they have the very vast variety of the habitat and habits are there. So that's why they are facing the so many infectious from different organisms. So they have contains rich advanced uh, evolutionary very highly evolutionary human system. So this is the all those things the scientists are in different era, different periods. They are contributed so much of work in the different fields. Then they are developing immune system techniques and the methods, and also they are practiced so many different types of the methods and developing so many types of the drugs, novel drugs for different uh, diseases is causing in the history to the human beings. Then see here, example, in 1798, Edward Jenner, he was introduced the vaccination for smallpox. And then 1975, Kohler and Milston and these people are introduced or invented monoclonal antibodies, which is used in the genetic analysis. So many milestones are there in history in the process of the evolution of the immunology or immune system. So, so many scientists are contributed their effort, and approximately since 1901, there have been 19 Nobel Prizes for immunology related research. So this is the history of immunology, and then we are going to the next slide. So the immune system includes what is the immune system contains, which is a functional system. Immune system is a functional system, not an organ system. I already told you. It is not a relevant to the regarding to the a single organ, which is the which is immune system is made up with the a complex of the items, which is known as already told you organs, involving the organs and tissues, cells, cell products. The combination of these things made the functional system, which is called the immune system. So this complex system includes the complex system includes first one skin. Skin is the largest organ of the body. This is the first barrier, which is the physical barrier for the invaders. And the lining of mucous membranes. When you are check the visceral organs or other organs, which is contains, which is covering or insiding, covering with the a membranes, which is known as linings of the mucous membranes. So mucous membranes also one of the physical barriers which is found in the different types of the visceral organs which is exist in the body. And the secretions. Third one is the secretions, tears, mucus, and antimicrobial fluids, which is also one of the part of the immune system. And blood cells, white blood cells, and vasculature blood cells. These cells are vasculature. These two are the also uh, take the part in the immune system. And bone marrow, liver, one of the organ, largest organ, and lymphatic system and lymph nodes, lymphoid organs, tissues also resident in the immune cells. Some tissues also participate in the immune system. So these things are we are found in the immune system. Then the functions of the immunity. The functions of the immunity. One thing is also we know that defense against the invading pathogens. First function, the basic function of the immunity or immune system is known as defense against the invading pathogens or foreign bodies like viruses, bacteria, drugs, toxins, and poisons, whatever it may be, pollutants. These all things are carcinogens. These all things are the foreign bodies. Those are invading by the immune system. That is the first function of the immune system. And second one is recognition and response. I already mentioned these two things are the main functions are done by the immune system. First one is the recognition or identification of the foreign body which are self or non-self, which are own or out. So that is the first function which is done by the immune system. And second function is response for an outer foreign body, response for the invader. So this is two things. Response mean which may be neutralize, which may be destroy, or which may be kill. So these things are we are found in the response. So recognition and response is the most important function of immune system. Then third one is the removal of worn out of cells. Yes, this is also done by the immune system only. Old RBCs, dead cells, debris, tissues debris, or injury cells, or diseased cells, which is exist in the body by damaged by the different parasites or invaders, pathogen agents. Then the removal of the debris and old OBCs and damaged cells also one of the function of immunity. And then identification and destruction of abnormal or mutant cells. This is the primary defense against the cancer. So damaged cells or converted cells, abnormal, normal to converted to the abnormal. So our self cells are converted to abnormal, then immediately that abnormal cells are identification, and then destruction is most important uh, for the protection from the different cancers. So next one is the rejection of the foreign cells, organ transplantation. So when transplantation is happen, the time immediately the rejection is the function also done by the this immune system only. Inappropriate responses. Some functions are also caused to affect for the self organism or human beings. Those two things are there. That is the allergies. The allergies, some of patients it is leads to cause the fertile. So allergies response to normally harmless substances. So this is the diseases and autoimmune diseases. These two things are inappropriate responses also done by the immune system. You can see here, if the list is there, these are the parasites or pathogens, which is main major categories of the human pathogens. This list is the probably they are causing the disease in human beings. We well known diseases caused by these particular pathogens, which is like viruses, rotaviruses, papillovirus, variola virus, measles virus, Zika virus. These are all different virus. HIV. HIV is well-known virus that is caused the AIDS. Present now, coronavirus, which is caused the corona disease, COVID-19. So COVID-19 virus also recently identified, and also worldwide this is converted as a pandemic, and then is caused the corona disease. So this is the viruses. So many viruses cause the different diseases, and then bacterial diseases, mycobacterium tuberculosis, and Bordetella, Vibrio cholera, and different gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea disease causes the gonorrhea, and funguses. Some fungus uh, organisms also pathogens also cause the different diseases in human beings, Candida albicans, um, candidiasis, thrush, and ringworm. So these different diseases were found caused by the fungus, and parasites like filariasis, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium species are caused the malaria disease, and leishmaniasis, Entomoeba histolytica, and Wuchereria bronchitis. These are the helminth parasites which is causes the different diseases in human beings. So these are the list are majorly we found the as a pathogens in human beings. And then see here, immune system. Generally, the immune system is divided into uh, two branches: innate immunity or acquired immunity. Innate immunity, which is the rapid responses to the broad range of the microbes, because of which is inhibited by birth. The innate immunity is developed or self and automatically by birth, but that's why this is the very giving the rapid response to the um, foreign bodies, and this also exists in the by birth to the organisms. The acquired immunity or learning immunity, which is gaining by the experiences in the lifetime. So, innate immunity, the first defensing mechanism. This is the first primary defensive mechanism of the organism, which is very specific. See here, which is very specific. Specific mean which is the species specific, which is the differentiate from the one organism to the another organism. That's why we are calling the very specific, particular for the every organism or every human being, and racial. So Negroes in worldwide we have found the different races human races. So, so races have also very specialized immune system, developing the specialized immune system because of they are adapted to the different geological regions. So individual, I already told you, individually is very specific. Every person which has a own innate immune system. So, wait, yes, come to that. And then these in microbes, these two types of the parts of their external defenses and internal defenses. Innate immune system. Innate immune system existed in the body. Those are divided into two categories. The external defenses we have found the skin, mucous membranes, and secretions already we are discussing in the earlier slide. And internal defenses. Those internal defenses is phagocytic cells, antimicrobial proteins, inflammatory responses like um, inflammatory responses, and natural killer cells, NK cells, natural killer cells, and complement system. The complement system, these things are which is exist in the innate immunity, and then acquired immunity, which is showing the slower than which is effectively done the effectively. So this also divided into two categories. First one is the humoral response. Humoral response means the products of the cells, which means antibodies. So next one is the cell-mediated response, cytotoxic lymphocytes. This is involving the cytotoxic lymphocytes, which we are discussing in the further slides. So this is the typical immune system or response. The immune response is done by the two types. First one is the innate immune response, and the second one is the acquired immune response. In innate immune response, we have found the external defenses like skin, mucous membranes, and secretions, and internal defenses. We found the phagocytic cells, phagocytic action, antimicrobial proteins, and also inflammatory responses, natural killer cells, and involving the complement system. And then humoral response and cell-mediated response are we are found in the acquired immune system. Then comparison of innate and adaptive immunity. See here, these are main differences we are observing in the innate immunity and adaptive and acquired immunity. So response time, very minutes to hours. It takes the few less time to responding from the foreign body. So that's why rapid action is we are found in the innate immunity, and then it may take adaptive immunity, it may take the days. And then specificity, limited. Specificity is very low and fixed, and this is the highly diverse. Adaptive immunity shows the highly diverse and adapt to the improved during the course of immune system response. So the response is very slow, but taking the more time, but which is impactive, which shows the impact on the particular foreign body. Response to repeat infection, and response is same every time, but more rapid in the adaptive immunity. That's why we are taking the two doses, primary dose and booster dose, which are also these things also you are listening in the this time. Corona vaccine taking the two times, first dose and second dose, because of the second dose giving the more response, more effectiveness than the primary dose. That's why we are giving the like two doses or three doses to the body for the increase the effectiveness of particular vaccine and immunity development. So major components. See here in the innate immunity we are found the barriers, phagocytic cells, and pattern recognition molecules. So these things are we are found in the major components which is found in the innate immunity. But here adaptive immunity we found the T and B lymphocytes, antigen specific receptors and antibodies. These are involving in the adaptive immunity. So immunity and its types. The immunity divided into two types. I already told you, innate immunity and adaptive immunity. And innate immunity contains, already we have found the external and internal barriers. Then adaptive immunity also again divided into two categories. Those are natural adaptive immunity and artificial adaptive immunity. In natural adaptive immunity, which is contains the passive and active, and also artificial we found the passive artificial adaptive immunity and active uh, immunity. So these categories are classified. Different types of the immune system, immune types are there. So see here, this is the basic types of the classification of the immune response, innate immunity, and which is contains the humoral and cellular immunity, complements and cytokines, which is the products of the cells. That's why we are calling the humoral immunity, which is not participate in the cells. Only these are participate in the cellular products. That's why we are calling the humoral immunity. And cellular part, they are taking the macrophages, granulocytes, basophils, mast cells, dendritic cells, and natural killer cells. These are the cellular types of the innate immunity we found in the innate system. And then adaptive immunity, we found the humoral and cellular. Again, the humoral immunity which is exists in the antibodies. In humoral immunity of the adaptive immunity, we have found that we are observing the antibodies participation, which is secreted by the B lymphocytes only, and then cellular, the cells T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes are participating in the cellular adaptive immunity. So these are the main categories are there: natural and artificial immunity types, passive natural, active natural, and passive artificial and active artificial. These so many categories are we are classified based on the their developing of the immune system. So this is the immune system. Innate immunity, regarding the immune system, is the already I told you non-specific immunity, which is the resistant with the which a person is born naturally inbuilt by the person is born and provided the resistance through the several physical, chemical, and cellular approaches. So barriers, I found the physical barriers, chemical barriers, and cellular approaches. And microbes first encounter the epithelial layers generally. Any organism which is introduced by the any barrier, which is destroy the barrier like skin and also or mucous membranes, physical barriers and line skin and mucous membranes. Otherwise, it cannot integrate inside of the body. And then subsequent general defenses include secretes the chemical agents, cytokines. When entering to the body, immediately these antimicrobial substances, cytokines, and fever, phagocytic activity are increased in the inside of the body, and also along with the inflammatory responses. So that is we are found in the skin when it is converted to the redness. The redness of the skin, which is the one of the innate immunity activity. And then the phagocytic express cell surface receptors that can bind and respond to common molecular pattern expressed in the surface invading microbes. When entering to the invader, then immediately phagocytes come and attack on the foreign body. Then they are take the receptors which is exist on the anti foreign particle. So these operators innate immunity can prevent the colonization and entry and spread of the microbes immediately, which is inhibit the colonization and spread of the microbes inside of the body. That is happen in the innate immunity. That is the mechanism. And a white blood cells engulfs a microbe and fuses the lysosome and destroy the yes lysosomal activity which is exist in the um, white blood cells. Then they are fused with the enzymes bag. Then immediately they are destroy the foreign material. Neutrophils also destroy the foreign bodies, macrophages, and eosinophils destructive enzymes. They have contain the destructive agents, and dendritic cells stimulate the development of the acquired immunity. So these all the cells are generally involving the innate immunity, then just inhibit the activity or at least neutralize the microbial activity. Then inflammatory responses, another defensive mechanism of the innate immunity, inflammatory responses. When the injury of the mast cells release the histamines, mast cells are releasing the histamines. The histamines are promotes changes in the blood vessels. It is the part of the inflammatory response, which is give the histamines are the reactive agents which is cause the vasodilation and allergic reactions, creating the allergic reactions, and which is the leads to give the a signal to the different defensive cells. Then they are releasing the humoral immunity as well as cellular immunity, and then this is the inflammatory response also one of the part of the innate immunity. So the four barriers to infection. We have found the four types of the barriers by inhibiting the infection. What is the anatomical barriers? Already told you, skin, mucous membrane. Those are the anatomical barriers, and physiological barriers. Physiological barriers, mucous membranes and secretions. Those are the physiological barriers, and phagocytic barriers. Those are entering also. After coming to the physiological barrier, then foreign material when introduced in the inside of the body, immediately the counter action is taken by the phagocytic cells. Then mast cells, even the mast cells, they are creating the inflammatory barrier. So these four barriers are which is exist in the innate immunity. Anatomical barriers. So already we are discussing the anatomical barriers, skin, mucociliary escalators, which is exist in the trachea, tracts of the alimentary canal or tracts of the respiratory tract, and then reproductive tract, which contains the mucociliary escalators, which is always helps to remove the foreign bodies and inhibit the adhesion of the parasites that particular space, and flushing action of the saliva, tears, and urine. So these secretions, saliva, tears, urine contains the different pHs and some reagents, enzymes, which is helping in the invading invaders, removal of the invaders. So anatomical barriers and biological systems. See here, normal flora, microbes, the favorable microbes which is exist in the body, they live in different places of the internal uh, organs, and may which is also participating in the defensive mechanism and to help to the host body. So normal flora, the flora is living in inside of the body, uh, equally like that. And normal flora, thousand species of bacteria, thousand favorable species are living in the inside of the intestinal tract. Then these are competes with the pathogens for nutrients and space. These are taking the competition, giving the competition, giving the competition to the foreign pathogens like for the nutrients and also space. So that time is also indirectly helping to the developing of the immune system and eradication of the invaders or destruction of the parasites. So innate immune system components, yes. So cellular bed components, which is also secondary defensive mechanism of the immune system, which is the plasma. The total blood is differentiated from the plasma and red blood cells, and then we have found the in the plasma we have found the different proteins, complement proteins, coagulation proteins, and cytokines. These are the extracellular fluids which are also participating in the uh, defensive mechanism, and these white blood cells, WBC cells also, those are actively participating in the innate immune system. These are the white blood cells are we are observing in the blood, and these are directly participating in the eradication of foreign material or foreign organisms, parasites, pathogens. So monocytes, eosinophils, lymphocytes, neutrophils, basophils. These are the white blood cells which is exist in the WBC, and it give the cellular response of the involving the immune action. Lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, and natural killer cells, which is um, proliferated by the lymphocytes. The lymphocytes, these types of the lymphocytes we are observing in the immune system. B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, natural killer cells, and this is the cells are developing by the lymphocytic prophase. Macrophages, mast cells. Already I told you these cells are participating in the lymphocytes. Immune system response. So cellular and extracellular part, when you are observing the innate immunity, cellular part neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, natural killer cells, and T cell receptors, and see here cytokines, complement system coagulation. Blood clotting also one of the defensive mechanism. Blood clotting when you are injuring cut the body, that is the way of the introducing of the so many different types of the pathogens. So the coagulation action also one of the defensive mechanism of human body. The complementary system. The complementary system also exists in the humoral fluid, and which is also destroying the viruses and bacterial cells. And cytokines. Cytokines is which is also the products of the cells, and which is identifying the different wide variety of the recognition, which is participating in the recognition of the wide variety of the pathogens. So that is the main thing in the innate response. So again, these pictures are clearly uh, shows you what is the innate immunity. So the pathogenic invasion is happened, bacteria or viruses are entering into the body. The first line of the defense is there. That is the first line of the defense is skin, the outermost covering layer, protecting barrier, and then ciliated cells. Ciliated cells are ciliated membranes, which is exist in the visceral organs. Second barrier, and then lysozyme. Lysozymes are exist in the lysosomes. These are present in the different white blood cells, and it is participating in the lysosomal destruction. And then coughing, sneezing, vomiting, and fever, redness, these all things are happened in the when entering the pathogen. So this is all the related to the innate immunity and blood clotting. Second line defense. So second line defense is the blood clotting, mast cell action activity, and mast cell action is directly participating in the allergic reactions. So by the releasing of the histamines and cytokines. Macrophages are releasing the cytokines. They are those are the molecules are identifying the foreign body, and self or non-self, and the leukocytes are also involving in the engulfing the different types of the pathogens. So this is the innate immunity. Then acquired immunity divided into two types: humoral immune response and cell mediated immune response. Humoral immune response mean this is the activation of clonal selection of B cells and resulting in the production of the secreted antibodies. Humoral immune response, they are not participating in the cells indirectly, but they are releasing the products like antibodies. The antibodies are secreting by the B cells, selective B cells. That B cells are mm, production of so number of uh, antibodies. That antibodies are attacking on the antigen, then the neutralize the pathogenic activity. Then cell-mediated immune response, which is involving the cells and clonal selection of the cytotoxic T cells and also helper T cells. This both the two types of the cells are participating in the cellular mediate immune response. These are systems. Both systems are there, humoral immunity and cell mediated immunity. This is the schematic diagrams. These schematic diagrams are uh, shows the what is the happened in the humoral immunity immune response and cell mediated immune response. See here, when the antigen is entering to the body, two systems are activated. First one is the B cells are activated, and also here antigen presenting cells are activated. These are stimulated the helper T cells, and B cells, both cells are activated, then releasing the plasma cells. Plasma cells are releasing the antibodies. Then here another uh, pathway is there. Helper T cells are releasing the helper T cells, and those are renovate and releasing the antigen. Then this antigen which is helping to the memory B cells, which is helping to the memory B cell production of the memory B cells, and these both cells are participating in the humoral immune response. See here, cell-mediated immune response, which is part of helper T cells and cytotoxic T cells. These are directly attacking and defend against the intracellular pathogen. So this is the two pathways are there. And acquired immunity, which is the adaptive immunity or specific immunity, which is divided into two major types depending on how immunity was introduced. So the immunity is developing by the experiences. Immunity is the developing by the interaction with the pathogen, which is called the acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, which is adapted by the introduction of the variant pathogen. So see here, natural organisms are gaining the acquired immunity by the naturally and artificially. Generally, natural acquired immunity is done by the through contact with a disease-causing agents, and when the contact was not in deliberate, which means naturally, accidentally, the foreign parasites or pathogens are when entering to the body, immediately naturally acquired immunity developed. Then artificially, through the actions of such vaccination, the vaccination method, and also these are the two types of their passive, artificially acquired immunity, and naturally uh, active method. So see here, two branches are there: active immunity and passive immunity. By the immune response generated against the pathogen, this is the natural activated immunity, acquired immunity, and these are the vaccines. Vaccines are given by the artificially developing the acquired immunity developing by the organisms. And then see here, natural colostrum by the feeding to mother to womb, mother to child, which is causing the immunity by the passive immunity, and naturally fetus receiving the antibodies from the mother via placenta. See here, and then this is the natural passive immunity, and passive artificial immunity, acquired immunity is done by the anti-serums, and anti-diphtheria serums are developing by the in vivo agents. So this is the happened in the acquired immunity. Memory cells are developing by the active immunity. Memory cells are B cells. Memory B cells are developing in the acquired immunity, which is giving the second protected from the active immunity ferment, whereas the positive immunity. Antigens are only encountered in the active immunity, and active immunity takes several weeks to become active, but passive is immediate. The passive immunity giving the response immediately, but active immunity give the response taken by the several weeks of the time. So natural acquired immunity, I already told you. An example is directly the foreign bodies are introduced in the inside of the body, and natural acquired passive immunity means which is done by the uh, mother to child, and artificially acquired active immunity. Artificially, when give the vaccines, all the vaccines, polio vaccine, and different types of the vaccines, measles vaccine, tetanus vaccines. The vaccines are directly given by the to skin or orally. Then they are developing the artificial immunity, and artificial acquired passive immunity done by the different bioagents, bioproduct directly given to the artificially given to the human beings like a serum. So in recently, the serum of the demand is increased for the this serum of the COVID patients, because of the serum is also used as a vaccine to developing the immune development in the um, pre-infected human beings. So that is the main subject or main theme behind is there. And lymphoid organs. So these are the two systems are there, innate immunity and acquired immunity system. And today we are discussing in the vast variety of the two branches of the immunity. Those are the acquired immunity and innate immunity, and then uh, some more videos we are covering the remaining subjects. And these are the things are we are learning today, and we are very happy to complete this session. Thank you, thank you very much.